What's up, friends? My name's Aaron Ciotti. Everybody calls me Mr. Steelotti. You can call me whatever you'd like. I've got shit in my hair from Halloween party last night, and I had it all up in my beard and eyebrows and shit, and I washed that off. But then I thought it'd be funny to leave that shit in my hair. In the chat, Apache Smoke Wounded Sniper was first, Kathy McKibben was next, Richard, Guillermo Nespolo, Spander, Bob Noxious, S. Grace, Isaac M, JT Custom Knives, Tyler DD, Gary Higgins, Applejuice FPV, Cody SA, Martin Wynn, Robert Garcelone, Family Guyver, Frank Nicholas, Kevin Smith, Remy Tim, AIO, Bob Noxious again, Quadzy Mo, repeat, Tyler DD. I think that's about everybody. June Loco. Cool Cat. Oh god, YouTube just did the thing. Northern Tier FPV. S Grace, Ed K. I think I got everybody. What's up, friends? Welcome to, what's today? Sunday? Sunday slap my nuts. Sunday Q&A, that's it. Wow, I didn't pick one today. Sunday Slapopotamus. Sunday, what's a word with S? I don't know. I can't think of one. Sunday Q&A it is. Kevin Smith says, what? You don't like AIOs? I do not. AIOs are awful. Family Guyver says, what's up, collective? Alley-oop says, CiottiFPV. Bob Noxious says, hit them gaps. If you want to talk directly to me in the chat, all you got to do is type CiottiFPV like Bob Noxious did here. That'll light it up in orange. Or if you want to support me on this crazy FPV journey that I've been on for the last year or so, you can do a super chat. And then I'll not only read your comment, but make love to you forever. Promise I won't make love to you forever. I will just love you forever. Make love to you forever. People are going to start sending negative super chats if that's the case. Apple Juice FPV says, hope you're doing well. Thanks for being here. Thanks, brother. Freelojo says, just a touch of gray. Frank Nicholas says, Sunday shit. Yeah, that's about it. Sunday shit. This is my full-time job. If you'd like to see me keep on doing 10-ish hours of streaming a week, super chats and or heading over to CiottiFPV.com is how you can support your gangly buddy. Patreon, Etsy, Fiverr, all kinds of affiliate links, all kinds of good stuff going on over there. Patreon helps me the most. For $3 whole a month, which is only 10 cents a day, you can jump onto the Patreon channel, and that'll get you roughly 40 hours a month. $3 for 40 hours a month of live streams. You alright, buddy? Don't throw up, please. Thank you. There you go. Darkman says, good evening, awesome hair. First time catching your live stream in a while. Glad to have you, Darkman. Glad you're able to catch one. Frank Nicholas dropping the link to CiottiFPV.com. And yeah, lots of other good stuff going on. The affiliate links are super helpful. It's free money. Try to use an affiliate, like if you're ever doing an order for FPV shit on RDQ, Get FPV, Banggood, FPV Cycle. There's a whole bunch of websites. Try to use somebody's affiliate link because it's free money for those of us that are creating content trying to make a living out of this. So yeah, just try to, or Amazon. If you're buying anything on Amazon, you can use a bunch of our affiliate links. And yeah, it's super helpful. It doesn't affect your ordering at all. You can still use coupon codes, free shipping, all that nonsense. It's literally just free money for us. So yeah, try to remember to do that. I'm terrible at remembering. June Loco with a $2 super chat. He says AIO fund. No, there is no AIO fund. There will never be. Well, I mean, unless this JHE MCU. No. There will never be an AIO fund. I will never have an AIO fund. How about that? Frank Nicholas says, thoughts on these $13 2207 motors. Listing has metal/magnet/spec. It's on FPV Crate. Interesting. Your connection is not private. Proceed. So that's a Lumineer motor. All I've ever heard about Lumineer motors is that they're super fragile. That being said, I don't think Lumineer makes their own motors. Lumineer doesn't really make anything, I don't think. It's they have products. They have products made for them, and then they put their specs, and then they put their name on them. So I don't know. You know, saying that Lumineer motors are fragile is saying that whoever manufactures the Lumineer motors is making fragile motors, right? Unless Lumineer is speccing out, you know, lower end materials or designs or whatever. So yeah, I don't know. Let me see. Is this a titanium motor shaft? It probably is. Yeah. So the shaft is titanium. With a titanium motor shaft, like, which is the motor shaft is typically what fails on a motor. I I really doubt that any of these motor manufacturers are using higher or lower grades of titanium in the motor shafts. So, pretty much all motors should be about as durable as one another. I would love at this point to say, but we know that's not true, but we don't. Like, durability info on motors is really, really hard because everybody crashes differently, and you really need a pretty big sample size to draw any actual conclusions. What I mean by that is, in order to make any actual conclusions about the durability of a motor, you have to blow up like 10 or 20 of the damn things. Typically that takes a while, and then by that point, a lot of times that motor is discontinued, so it kind of doesn't matter anymore. But when you're online in the Facebook groups, you do get a lot of people commenting on how durable or not durable motors are. There are certain motors, like motors manufactured by TBS, specifically is what comes to mind, where I hear just constantly complaints about them being fragile. Is that just because TBS sells more motors and there's just more people running those motors to complain about them? Maybe. I doubt that. I don't see many people running TBS motors. I certainly don't see more people running TBS motors than anything else, right? But I digress. It's really hard to get durability data on anything, specifically motors. Bearings do fail, Family Guyver, but in my experience, the motor shafts are 3 times as more likely to fail. I will typically replace 3 motor bells per top bearing. And it's only ever the top bearing that fails. The bottom bearings are always fine because you've got the 2 bearings and then you've got the motor shaft. So when the top of the motor gets hit, it annihilates the top bearing, but the bottom bearing down here doesn't really get much load put on it. It just gets that shaft kind of rotating in it a little bit, which isn't great, but I don't know if I've ever had to replace a bottom bearing, to be honest with you guys, and I always test them when I'm replacing the top bearings. I've probably replaced 50 or 60 top bearings. Martin Wynn with a 5-pound super chat. He says, Sunday fun. Now we're talking. Sunday fun is more like it. Fuck the AIO fund. Thank you, June Loco. Thank you, Martin Wynn, for supporting your buddy. CMYK FPV is in the house. JT Custom Knives says, what's up with these pictures of FPV cycle 25mm motors with slip bells I've been seeing? Yeah, I mean, the FPV cycle motors are very, very popular. They're a perfect example of this. They're selling a ton of those right now. So you're going to see a whole bunch of pictures of failures, like, right now, where, you know, as over the next couple months, if that doesn't slow down, then there's a real issue. Last I heard, Bob said that there's been like 4 people or 5 people that have had the 25mm motors with the slipping bells. So, doesn't seem like a big issue, especially with how many of those motors have been sold. So yeah, it's hard. It's really hard to figure that shit out. You just have to, I don't know. Like I said, I doubt that any of these guys are using different titanium motor shafts. Typically the motor shaft is what fails. So most motors should be about the same durability level. So buy the motor that's in the color that you like the most. Which I say partially in jest, but kinda not really. Like, if the part of the motor that takes the most abuse is the same on all motors, fuck it, why not buy the ones that you like the look of and the color of the most, right? You're probably gonna be totally fine. What's up, T-Bird? Shirt of the day from Blip Shift. This is the 2nd generation Miata, the NB, which is the one that I've got. the first generation Miata had pop-up headlights on it, so they made a shirt like this that said pop-ups enabled, and then they made an NB shirt that says pop-up blocker. T-Bird says, are you getting gray hair or light? I went to a Halloween party last night as Sandy Claus, or as hipster Santa Claus. So I sprayed, Maggie sprayed my my hair and my eyebrows and my mustache and beard with temporary white hair spray stuff. I had to get it off. It looked ridiculous on my face hair, but on my head hair it kind of looks funny. Figured I'd leave it. All right, cool. All that being said, these Lumineer 2207s at $13 a motor, that's a pretty good deal if you're into 2207s. It's a weird KV. 2050 KV is like basically a 5S KV, but you could absolutely run this on 6S and then just bring a motor limit on it in the PID tab to like 80% or 75%, and these would be totally fine on 6S. I'm not a fan of the 2207 motor size. I feel that they have too much power and they're not light enough. But if you like big power and you don't mind a motor that's 2 or 3 grams heavier than a 2306, 2207 is probably your ticket. So yeah, I mean, for $13 a motor, this is pretty good. For a titanium shaft motor. Usually you don't. Usually you won't see a titanium shaft motor for less than like $22 each. So at $13 each, that's pretty damn good. It is a 2-piece bell design, so the bell itself is not going to be as durable as some of these other newer motors that are a single-piece bell design. But I've been running 2-piece bell design motors for a long time, for like 2 or 3 years, closer to 3 years, and I've only had a couple failures where it was due to where a single-piece bell design would have helped. So yeah, this is pretty good. $13 per is a pretty good deal. It's 52. Yeah, interesting. What I'm sitting here thinking of is if I should buy a set of these for a giveaway, for an upcoming giveaway. I don't have many my stash of 5-inch giveaway parts is getting kind of low, so this might make sense to buy for the giveaways. Let's work on the Ummagawd 250 because I'm caught up on chat. If you've got any questions, drop them in the chat. This is a Q&A stream. I will be monitoring it while I'm working on this rig. Definitely make sure that you tag me or do a super chat though, because the chat is all the way over there. I need to reorganize this this desk here. What I really want to do is get these monitors here. These are my two old ass, like 10-year-old 23-inch Mac monitors. I want to rotate them around here so that one of the monitors is right here being right next to the workbench. So that the chat, which is like right here, it would be nice if the chat was here, right next to the workbench. It would make it a lot easier for me to be able to read the chat when I'm over here working. Yeah, here's how you guys can see. So like right here and like there, you know what I mean? So I gotta, but in order to do that, I'm gonna have to rip this entire desk apart, and like that's a lot of work. Like that's gonna take a bunch of time. I was kind of trying to wait until I got the M1. What I think I'm gonna get instead of the M1 iMac is an M1 Mac Mini, because it's $1,000 less, and I already have two 23-inch Mac monitors that I love. I also have, a long time ago, I'd bought Kristen a 24-inch Samsung monitor. So what I'd really like to do is get these two monitors here. I can put the Mac Mini there, and then I can put the laptop dock, which is here, right here. I can put the laptop dock over here, which is like my little guest build area, so to speak. And I can put the laptop dock. Actually, I'll put the laptop dock here, and then that Samsung monitor to the left of it. So that, yeah. Frank Nicholas, actually, a long ass time ago, when I was thinking about using the laptop, when I was thinking about replacing this tower with the laptop, before I realized that that's not really going to work, Frank Nicholas had sent me the little dongles that I need for this little laptop dock to be able to use a regular monitor with it, you know, VGA or Apple's DVI, I believe this is. So I'm like good to go to do that. But yeah, I gotta rip this entire fucking desk apart in order to do that. And I would need to, I guess it would, so this monitor's about that wide. So yeah, what I would do is I would put one monitor here, and then I guess I would move this camera over a little bit, which kind of sucks because then if I move this camera over a little bit, if I move this camera this way, you won't be able to see the Stig helmet anymore, but that's fine. This is an FPV stream, not a race car stream. So yeah, that'll be exciting. So yeah, this camera will come over a little bit, and then I'll have the other monitor on the other side. So it'll basically be like monitor here, monitor over here, and then the camera, and then the other 23-inch monitor, and then the laptop here, and then the Samsung monitor over there. It'll just be a room of monitors and computers. There'll actually at that point be 4 monitors because the laptop has its own, you know, screen built in. And that's the dream, right, guys? To have a room with wall-to-fucking-wall monitors. Anybody that has a room full of monitors, I'm not making fun of you. I'm just... Yella Captain is in the house. He says, hi, bud. Late to the party. It's all good. I haven't done shit yet. Doom239 says, what are good 3-inch props for the Baby Hawk? Depends which Baby Hawk, Doom. There are different Baby Hawks, and different Baby Hawks have differently sized motors, and the size of the motor has everything to do with the propellers that are a good match for it. So actually, I don't even care which Baby Hawk. I care what the motors are. So let me know what the stator size, KV, and what voltage you're running that rig on, and I'll be able to tell you what the appropriate 3-inch prop is. Robert says, I decided to build my first quad on Glide 5 and Hybrid 2 cam. Do I need dead cat arms to keep props out of HD view? Yeah, absolutely. If you're using a built-in camera like the Hybrid, which is going to have the HD lens where the FPV lens is, you would absolutely need dead cat arms to get the props out of view. And even with the dead cat arms, I think you might still have a little bit of propeller in view. But it'll be better than if you didn't. It is a Miata Doom39. This is an NB. This is a blip shift shirt from a long time ago. CMYKFPV says new Mac Mini Pro might be dropping soon. That's pretty cool. I wonder what comes with the Pro designation. Hopefully, some more fucking plugs. The one thing that I'm afraid of, not afraid of, but just I'm gonna be annoyed by with the M1 Mac Mini, is that I'm gonna have to have dongles on dongles on dongles on dongles on dongles on dongles. Or I'll have to buy like a $300 fucking dock for the damn thing. Speaking of Doc Cock 100 with a 5-pound chat, he says, does the make of the flight controller in ESC have much of an impact on flight characteristics on a 2 to 3 inch build? Absolutely not. Arguably zero impact on flight characteristics. If your if your gyro on your flight controller is working, and if the FETs on the ESC are working, that's it. It doesn't matter if that flight controller and ESC are made by Racer Star, or if they're $1,000 each and made by Flyduino. Yeah, that's pretty much it. You can argue that like a 48, an ESC that supports 48K PWM is going to perform a little bit better, but I think that's nonsense. Better is not the right word. Different is the word. 48K PWM is going to get you a little bit more runtime and a little bit more power, but in actuality, when you're talking about flight characteristics, in my opinion and in my experience, the flight characteristics are actually worse. You get more power, you get more runtime, but that has nothing to do with flight characteristics. Flight characteristics have to do, in part, with engine braking. Motor braking, and 48K PWM does a worse job with motor braking than 24K, as an example. But we're kind of splitting hairs there. The difference is very slight. The heart of Doc Cock's question is, yeah, as long as the flight controller and the ESC are working, then it really doesn't matter. You could also argue that F4 versus F7 on the flight controller side of things has something to do with flight characteristics, but according to the Betaflight devs and the black box freaks that look at black box logs all the time, the advantage from an F7 over an F4 is that you can run D-Shot 600 and 8K on the PID loop frequency versus D-Shot 300 and 4K. But the people that look at the actual flight data and the devs have specifically told me that they've never seen a difference in any black box log. And black box logs are showing flight characteristics. Yeah, they've never seen a increase or decrease in performance when going from 8K 8K D-Shot 600 to 4K 4K D-Shot 300. So, yeah, again, as long as the flight controller ain't blown up, as long as the flight controller and ESC are not fucked up in any way, which they shouldn't be, right out of the box, yeah, there's no difference. Where are we at? Frank Nicholas says Apple has not announced, pure speculation. He also says Mac Mini $200 to $300, TB3, TB4. I don't know what TB3 are for. More ports than you know what to do with. I gotta look up what TB3, TB4 is. Freeloja says I didn't have any prop and view running Dead Cat on my glide hammer. Very cool. How did you run Dead Cat on a glide hammer, Freeloja? I'd never seen 6mm Dead Cat arms. If there are 6mm Dead Cat arms, I need to get my hands on some though. That would be great. I would love that. B-Man says, what's up? You went gray overnight? What's going on? I went to a Halloween party last night, and I washed the gray off my face hair, but not off my head hair, because I thought it would be funny. Doc Cock, thank you for the £5 super chat and the really good question. That's a really, really good question, Doc Cock. At this point, I'm just trying to say Doc Cock as often as I can. You know what I mean, Doc Cock? Frank says TB3-4 is... Oh, Thunderbolt. Gotcha. Successor to Thunderbolt 1 or 2. Freeloja says, I got a set. A set of what? What were we just talking about? How do I not know what we were just talking about a minute ago? Film MacGyver says, what would be a good laptop to do video edits on? Oh, God, I have no idea. I was into computers, like, in my 20s, but, you know, it's been, like, 15 years. I've given up trying to keep up with computers. Luckily... since I'm an Apple person, I don't really need to keep up on computers. I just buy an Apple that I just set a budget and buy an Apple that's in that budget, and it works awesome for a long ass time. So yeah, it's kind of nice not having to spend so much time you know, continuing to stay up to date on computer info. Quadzimo says, I've had a Runcam hybrid for a while and it's never been able to record. Definitely a fast enough and working SD card, but OSD reads card error. Tried a new board, still can't record. Damn expensive FPV cam as is. Any ideas? I mean, if you've tried a new board, the only other thing is to replace the camera. I know it sucks to throw good money after bad, but if a new board didn't fix it, then a new camera should. I mean, the Runcam hybrids do work, and if you're using a U3, that's the spec that you want to look for on your little tiny memory card. It's a number 3 with a U. There's like a million speed designations on these little tiny memory cards, but the one that really matters apparently is the U number. U1 should be fast enough for the Runcam hybrid, but U3 will definitely be fast enough. So yeah. Shoot a message off to Runcam. All of these FPV companies are small enough that typically if you message them on like Facebook or Instagram, they will get back to you within a couple days. Maybe they'll have some troubleshooting stuff to try out. When you message them, I would give them as much info as possible. Let them know the specific memory card that you're using and the specific memory cards that you have used. Let them know that you've tried a different board. Let them know how you're powering it, stuff like that. Everything that you could possibly think of. You know, if somebody's going to try to troubleshoot something that ain't working for you, your responsibility is to give them as much info as possible so that they don't have to beat that info out of you. Typically, if you give them no info, they're not going to want to help you out because they know that they're going to have to beat the info out of you, and that's going to take a lot of time. So if you do that shit yourself and present them with a nice, you know, chunk of info so that they can just troubleshoot it all at once, and so that, you know, and think of the customer service rep on the other side, right? If you make their job easy for them and it's going to take them 5 minutes to help you out, they're probably going to help you out. If you don't do that, and believe me, they've had a million people just today that have not done that for them, right? They're going to be like, oh, fuck, right? Like, wouldn't you? So, yeah, give them as much info as you possibly can, and I bet you they help you out. Freelojo says, 6mm dead cat glide. Yeah, how Freelojo? Where'd you get those arms from? Did Bob like make those arms and just for you or something like that? Espander says, so is there any reason to buy 1700 and 1900 kV motors over 2400 kV with a motor limit? It kind of depends, Espander. From an electrical engineer standpoint, yes. Buying the correct kV for the voltage of battery that you're planning to run is going to be a little bit more efficient. And give you a little bit more power and possibly give you a little bit better throttle resolution, but I don't really know about that. In my testing, no. In my testing, which was pretty significant, like we're talking hundreds of batteries on identical rigs, one of them on 1900 kV motors scaled down to like 85%, I want to say, maybe 90%. Completely identical rig on 2400 kV motors scaled down to whatever the appropriate number would be, 65% maybe 70. In hundreds of batteries, I saw no difference in flight performance or throttle resolution or throttle feel or anything like that. I saw no difference in runtime, no difference, top to bottom, no difference whatsoever. There are benefits to having 2400 kV motors, such as even if you're on 6S, if you go to fly and you forget all your batteries and somebody else at the field is on 4S, you're good to go. That has not happened to me in a long time, and I only fly 6S, so at some point I just said to hell with it and I stopped buying. For a little while there, I was buying 2400 kV motors, but at some point I just said to hell with it. Like this is not a benefit to me. I always remember my batteries. I bring shitloads of batteries with me. I would rather have, you know, if it's a 1% difference in efficiency and power and throttle resolution or whatever, I'll take that 1% because the advantages of having 2400 kV motors aren't actually advantages for me. You know what I mean? But I feel like for a lot of people, it would actually make a lot of sense to run 2400 kV motors and just throttle limit them down. But that's a pretty individual decision for each one of you guys. CiottiFPV says, I'm just wondering what your opinion about updating to Betaflight 4.3 nightly build versus waiting for the official release. I really do always recommend that you wait for the official release, especially with 5-inch rigs, because they are dangerous and they can really fuck you up and put your ass in the hospital. And also, like, 4.3, like, having P-gain integrated into anti-gravity it does make a difference in flight in flight performance and in the footage that's coming out of your rigs. So if you're, if you're a working drone operator, it might make sense. If you're not, what the fuck difference does it make, right? Like, yeah. Unless there's a very specific reason and unless there's like some stakes involved in needing to go to 4.3 early, I don't really see a point. Because, yeah, I mean, like, there's only cons. There's no pros, right? Like I'll have it earlier is not really a pro, in my opinion. That's just, us being humans, and as humans, we're impatient by nature. So yeah, I would absolutely recommend just waiting for the official release. But if there's some specific reason that you need some of the benefits within 4.3, then I have the nightly builds on 2 rigs now, and on 1 rig it's absolutely fine, and on the other rig I haven't flown yet. But yeah, you should be fine, but the word should and the word hospital live together sometimes in life, and I don't want that for anybody. Quadzimo says, U3 class and so long ago now, not sure if RunCam cares. They do. These companies are, again, they're small enough where they have to care. If they don't care, then people will go onto the Facebook groups and shit all over them. So yeah, these companies really do need to care, and they typically do care because they've typically been burned before by people going onto the Facebook groups and in front of thousands of people saying, fuck RunCam, they're the worst, I'm gonna burn them, to the ground. So yeah, most companies do absolutely care, regardless of when you bought it. That's typically not even something that they talk about. Like, we're kind of used to this from like Amazon companies and shit like that, where it's like, oh, where'd you buy it? When did you buy it? Oh no, you're not covered, fuck off. Because those companies are too big to fail. But RunCam is absolutely not too big to fail, right? If they start ripping people off, if they start building a shitty product, if they start mouthing off to people in customer service land, they're not going to survive the next 6 months. So yeah, most of these companies, it's a whole different world. FPV is completely different from the rest of the real world. And it's hard to remember that, right? Like, we get into this mindset of every single company that makes everything in my life doesn't give a shit about me, and there's no way I can get it replaced. I'm just assed out. But it's not true in FPV world. These companies do give a shit, and it's great. It's really, really great. Gary Higgins says, I've been flying 5-inch, but I don't have good places to fly. Going to switch to 3-inch or 2.5. Which do you think would be better? Wish BQE had the HD rip squeak out. 3-inch versus 2.5-inch. 3-inch is pretty much better all the time. There is a definite efficiency increase going from a 2.5-inch prop to a 3-inch prop because the tips of the blades are farther apart, which lets the tip vortices disperse more. The only real reason to run or build a 2.5-inch rig is if you already have the motors. Like if you've got like a 1404 motor or a 1304 motor already, that's a 2.5-inch motor. That's really not a 3-inch motor unless you're going to run 3-inch bi-blades or if you're building a long-range rig. But if it's a freestyle rig, there's kind of no reason not to go 3-inch. 2.5 inches just it's a half, you know, total, the total size of the rig is a half an inch smaller. Who gives a shit about that? No, it's not. No, it's not. It's potentially a full inch smaller, but you know, that's what she said. That's not enough of a size difference to warrant the decrease in efficiency, in my opinion. The other reason to run, well, no, you know, that's not really a reason anymore. I was about to say the other reason to run 2.5 inch is because there are better propellers available for 2.5 inch T-mount, but that's not true anymore. These Dow 3028s are every bit as good as the Emax Avan Rush 2.5 inch tri-blades. So yeah, that is no longer a fact, which is great. It's great that we've now got a really good 3-inch T-mount propeller. Freelojo says, I got those arms when I got my hammer from FPV Cycle, and know they were just available. Very cool. I gotta look that up. I would love to have a set of 6mm dead cat arms. That's dope. Gary Higgins said, oh wait, no, we got that. Freelojo potentially dropping a link to those arms, but I can't go to FPV Cycle because their connection is not private, and my Google Chrome is absolutely super upset, and I've now tried clearing cookies and cache and eating cookies and spending cash, and nothing has helped. Glide 5-inch dead cat arms 2-piece. So these are the 5mm dead cat arms. No, they're not. It says 6mm on it. No shit. I'll be goddamned. Very cool. Good call, brother. Either this is new or I didn't notice these. That's pretty awesome. I like that a lot. What I really wish they made was 5.5 inch dead cat arms in 6mm thickness. They have 5.5 inch dead cat arms. Those are the arms from the Cineglide, but they're 5mm, which is a little on the thin side for that longer arm. I have a set that I really want to put on the chase rig, but I really like the 6mm, the strength and the vibration resistance of the 6mm thick 5-inch arms. So that's what's on the chase rig for right now, which is fine. The motors that are on the chase rig, the 2507s, they are not quite big enough for the big nasty Gemfan 5.5 inch props. So it's totally fine. The way that the rig is set up right now is completely fine. It's also, you know what? I don't actually need the dead cat arms because the damn thing is on a 40-degree GoPro mount. But if at some point I put that rig onto like a 30-degree or a 20-degree GoPro mount, then it would be nice to have the 6mm dead cat arms. But I would never really do that. Like, that rig is specifically built to go really fast, and when you're going really fast, you need the extra up tilt. So yeah, I don't think it necessarily makes sense for me to get 6mm dead cat arms. Which is good, because the dead cat arms are a little risky, because the camera and the GoPro are now farther forward than the ends of the arms, so when you crash it face first into something, you smash the balls out of the front of the frame. The top plate and the bottom plate take a lot of abuse. The GoPro takes a lot of abuse, and the FPV cam takes a lot of abuse. So yeah. Frank says that that Google Chrome is broken. That sucks. I really like Google Chrome. Oh my god, the chat's filling up. Okay, lots of good questions. JT Custom Knives says, how do you transport batteries to a shoot? Kevlar bags. Battery safe Kevlar bags. Flight Test did some Flight Test has a video from a long time ago where they tested the bat safe, and they tested the bat safe versus a bunch of these Kevlar lipo bags, and these did really, really well. The Kevlar bags did shockingly well. Tyler DD says, "Build, goddammit." Tyler, it's it's pretty much impossible for me to thoughtfully answer questions while I'm building. So I need to wait until the chat dies down a little bit in order to start building, or else I'm not going to really... And this, you know, like, the value of my live streams is typically people coming in and asking questions. So I tend to prioritize answering questions over just, you know, the 7,000th build that I've done. There are hundreds of hours of live streams with, you know, me doing builds, so there's plenty of content there. But, you know, fresh questions and people looking to kind of hang out with me, that's what I sort of prioritize on these live streams. So yeah, these Kevlar battery bags are great. There's on Banggood you can get these real ACC ones, and they've got these dividers in them. It comes with 6 of these dividers, so you can put 8 6S 1500 or even 1300 or probably even 1500 mAh batteries in each one of these, and it's a nice size. So I really like these specific ones. If anybody's is ordering these from, never mind. I need to do a Banggood order anyway. I want to get a couple more of those just so I have extras. So yeah, and I have, like, whenever I do, not forever, but for a while there, every time I would do an order on whatever website, I would get one of each of the the Kevlar lipo bags that they have in stock. So now I have like 10 of the damn things, and I just like strategically put them all over the place. Like I have one down here under the desk. I have a couple over there, a couple over there. One of them lives in my flight bag all the time. So just like having a bunch of those Kevlar bags everywhere makes it really easy to always keep my batteries in those bags. Sometimes the bags aren't like closed, but you know, like, so sometimes I'll have some of these bags sitting like just kind of open like this, like just next to the table or whatever. I've tucked the little flaps in, right? So like when the bag is like this, like fire can still shoot out the top, but fire's not going to go out the bottom or the sides. And so you've got 6 axes, up, down, left, right, front, back, and I've eliminated 5 of the axes. So that's pretty good. You know, you're kind of playing the odds there. And when I leave them open like this, I make sure that there's an air gap above them. Like I don't put it right up against the top of a fucking, you know, wooden shelf or whatever. So yeah, that has worked really well for me. I've only had one battery explode, and it was at a drift event, actually, after I was flying the rig. So yeah, keeping the batteries in those Kevlar bags is very easy and very cheap, and I really think that you guys should all do it, at the very least. But, like, I can't even say at the very least, because they work shockingly well. Like, so it's a very valid way of doing it. I saw a couple people mention ammo cans. I have that as well. If you do use the ammo cans, though, make sure that you either pull the rubber seal or drill a hole in the side of the damn thing. What you don't want... So those ammo cans are airtight. So, and you don't want that. If you have batteries in an airtight vessel and those batteries start going off, you've got a really nasty pipe bomb on your hands. Or not pipe bomb, but you know what I'm saying. So yeah, make sure you go into the shell, the lid of the ammo can, and just yank the rubber gasket out of there. It won't close as nicely, but it'll still close fine. The latch will still hold. I had a bunch of ammo cans from when I used to play airsoft forever. So yeah, I use a pressure bomb. Yeah, exactly. Supercell. Supercell, what's up, brother? Yeah, I have my power supply in the bottom of the ammo can with a couple of holes in it, a big hole for the fan to blow out and another hole on the other side for the XT60 to come out. So if I want to bring my charger set up, I can just coil up the power wire into the ammo can, and then I've got a bunch of room on the top of the ammo can to throw a bunch of shit. So like when I went to that gig in Asheville where I knew I'd be flying battery after battery after battery, I just wrapped the power cord up, put the charger in the top, the balance boards in the top, and I just had like a nice ammo can with a full charging setup. It doesn't, I mean, like it doesn't really make much sense. I at some point I had a second ammo can. I don't know where the hell it went. At some point I am gonna grab a second ammo can to put next to that one for more batteries. But here's the other thing. I don't love the idea of filling an ammo can up with batteries. I really prefer to have multiple. And this is what I've got. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 individual Kevlar lipo bags with some batteries in each. It helps me like from an organization standpoint because one of them has 2S batteries, the next one has 3S, the next one has 4S, the next one has 6S. But what it also helps with is that if you've got one big thing with all your batteries and one of your batteries goes off, there's a good chance that's going to set all the rest of those batteries off. So I prefer to have multiple smaller fellas so that if one of these batteries in here goes off, it's the only, there's only 2 other batteries that it's going to potentially kill as well. I don't love the idea of having like one big ass thing with all your batteries in it. That just seems like a goddamn powder keg waiting to go up. Let me scroll back up here, getting a little behind on the chat. You guys are asking good questions. Spander says, awesome. Darkman says, I run my 3-inch freestyle rig on 1404s at 6S voltage. LOL. So just so you know, Darkman, 6S on a micro is not getting you any performance advantage, and it's really hard on the ESC. So if at some point you switch motors on that rig, switch the motors to a higher KV, and get that rig down to 4S, you'll get the exact same flight performance, but you'll get a lot more durability on the ESC side of things. Frank Nicholas says, use this link for FPV Cycle. Still doesn't work. FPV Cycle link is definitely good. If your browser complains, then your browser is broken. Cody SA says, are you going to build this 250 today? What happened? I thought you just built a 250. Yes, and this is just a refresh of the build. I'm swapping from a 20x20 stack to an AIO because of the frame design, and I'm also swapping motors because I want to use the motors that were on it on a Ripsqueak. Doc Cox says, are there any negative effects of underpropping a motor, running a bigger motor than needed? Yeah, mainly extra weight on the ends of the arms. And weight on the ends of the arms is very noticeable in flight because it's dynamically a really bad thing. Like the ends of the arms move a lot. They move the most, right? So this is roll. You can see the ends of the arms move the most on roll. This is pitch. They move almost the most on pitch. And then this is yaw. They move the most on yaw. And taking a weight and, getting it moving and then getting it stopped requires energy, requires, all these things. So yeah, the less weight on the part of the quad that moves the most, the less work that's needed to move that. So you have a situation where it's going to improve flight characteristics. It's also going to improve like runtime because it's literally not going to need as much oomph to rotate the rig around. If you're running motors that are like, no, I'm not even going to say that. It does make a difference. It absolutely makes a difference. The weight on the ends of the arms absolutely makes a difference. So having the correctly sized stator is a big deal. It does make a difference. And then the KV, I like to have... So the ideal situation is to have the correctly sized stator, but then a little bit too much KV on the winds. And then you can motor limit down in Betaflight to get the KV under control. What you don't want to have is a stator that's too big, and then you're having to throttle limit it down because it's making too much power. It's also kind of hard on the battery. The bigger the stator, the more stator volume, the harder it is on the battery. So there's actually a lot of things that aren't great about having an underpropped setup. All that being said, I would very much rather have an underpropped setup than an overpropped setup. So yeah, it's always going to be a better situation to have a bigger motor than you need than a smaller motor than you need. So keep that in mind. Tim Coker says, I'm a bit behind, but I have an extra Star Dock USB-C dock I'm not using anymore. I bought 2 to use in the office, but I'm work from home permanently. It's legit. What is a Star Dock USB-C dock? Let's see. I do have a big ass like 10-port USB dock. Oh, it looks very similar to this. Star Tech. I found Star Tech. Tim, is it just USB? I'm actually good. USB is the one thing that I'm good on in terms of docks. What I'm afraid of with the Mac Mini is that I'm gonna need to have like a million dongles for like the 2 monitors, or for like my speakers, or I guess that's it. Yeah, I guess that's it. That's my main concern. Freeload just says, my Z's LiPo bags have flaps so I can have my parallel board wires out of. Ooh, that's really cool. Oh, that's really cool. I like that a lot. Ricardo says, when you have a damaged cell LiPo, you throw the LiPo away or try to remove that cell out. I have pulled LiPos apart and looked at what's involved with pulling a cell, and I decided that it just wasn't worth it. It takes a lot of time to do it because you got to be really careful when you're doing it, and I just don't want to get it wrong. I don't want to have a LiPo right here all up in my face that I'm soldering on, and it shoots fireball in my goddamn eyeballs. So I just get rid of them. I just get them the fuck out of here. I used to have a buddy who was willing to take them apart, so I would just give them to him. But that was when I was in Charleston. So yeah, now I just ditch them. Batteries are cheap. Your home is not. So I just take it as a loss and just move the hell on. Darkman says 2750 kV motors pull 23 amps altogether at full throttle with an 85% throttle scale. ESCs are rated for 40 amps each, 7.5 minutes out of each battery. Loving it. Very cool, Darkman. That sounds like a cool setup. Doom39 says, Baby Hawk with 1404 3700 running 4S. Any recommendations on props? So 1404 3700 kV 4S. 1404 realistically is a 2. If you want to run tri-blades, that's a 2.5 inch prop kind of setup. But there are now very, very, very low pitch 3-inch tri-blades. So that's what I would do. I would go with a low pitch 3-inch tri-blade like the GemFan 3016. So yeah, I would try the GemFan 3016, and then I mean, you can try. Props are so cheap that it's kind of like fuck it, buy them all. You can maybe try these Dow 3028s, I think they are, but I doubt it. I doubt that those motors will be gutsy enough to really control these Dow props. So yeah, I would stick with the GemFan 3016s. Richard says, I saw 5-inch arms for the Apex Micro. Opinions? Doesn't really make any sense to me in the same way that 4-inch doesn't really make any sense to me. You know, we're building rigs to carry cameras around, and there are no cameras that are the appropriate weight for a 4-inch rig, which is why 4-inch rigs haven't really been a thing until very recently, when we've run out of other lately in FPV, the manufacturers just don't. They just don't. There's like nothing hype trainy left for them to jump on and try to trick us into buying, basically. So they're getting like, sounds bad. It sounds kind of mean, but they're getting kind of desperate. So yeah. Unless you really love the way that toothpicks fly. If you really love the way that toothpicks fly, which is kind of like an RC car up in the air, right? You kind of just drive it around. You're always on the throttle. Like they don't have enough. Like the ratio of propeller size to the weight of the rig is there's a lot of propeller and there's not a lot of weight. So if you come off the throttle with that setup, it doesn't throw very far. There's not much momentum. It just gets gobbled up by the huge propeller size. So yeah, if you really like the way that flies, well then sure, yeah, like a gigantic 5-inch propeller on a really lightweight rig, you're gonna like the way that flies. I would venture to say that most people don't like that. I mean, I like that setup for my first like year and a half or so of flying. But then I kind of got bored with it. Like I wanted to also be able to fling the rig up over objects. You know, when like the toothpick setup, like it's not as three-dimensional of a flying experience in that everything you do is on throttle and everything you do is kind of like right side up. Not really right, but I think you guys know what I'm getting at. In order to like engage that third dimension, I guess it would almost be like a fourth dimension of flying, which is off throttle throws. Yeah, you've got to get the all up weight to prop size ratio. I almost said correct. You guys know what I mean when I say correct. That's not the right word, but you guys know exactly what I mean. Frank Nicholas says, for USB performance, you need TB3, TB4 versus USB-C. For performance in general, you want TB3/TB4 versus USB-C. Got it. Good to know. I mean, I don't really have anything. Yeah, I don't really have anything that's on Thunderbolt, though. But maybe down the road I'll get some stuff. Darkband says, running the HQ 3x3x3 on my NIN 1404s. That used to be one of the better 3-inch propellers, but there's a lot of better options. The biggest issue with those HQ 3x3x3s is they're not all that well balanced. They're also super fragile. So I don't like those props at all. That is a little bit of a, that is too big of a propeller for a 1404 motor. You'll get much better PID loop and just general flight performance by going to a significantly lighter weight propeller on that small of a motor, Darkman. So yeah, I mean, even going to these DAL 3028s is going to be a significant improvement over those HQ 3x3x3s. But these are still going to be, I think, too big, too heavy of a prop. Realistically, you'd want to go to a Gemfan 3016, or what I would actually do, I mean, what I like the best on a 1404 is a 2.5-inch prop. They really, really, really work well with a 2.5-inch prop. I've never found a 3-inch prop that a 1404 motor can properly control to give you that like really, really high-end flight performance. Martin Wynn says, love the Atlanta video. Thanks, brother. Yeah, if you guys didn't know, I missed my own premiere again yesterday. I'm going to drop a link for you. A FinFPV edit went up yesterday. If you haven't seen it, here's... link. Oh no. Did the microphone just go nuts? Do I sound like an alien? Hopefully I don't sound like an alien. There's the link. Go check it out if you'd like. Richard says, then I wonder if a bigger battery and possibly a T-Motor 2203.5 would work on the 5-inch micro Apex, and then try to run a full-size GoPro. Yeah, I mean, here's my question, Richard. Like why? Like, what's the thought process to doing that versus just building a 5-inch rig, a standard 5-inch freestyle rig, which is, you know, like the reason that I ask you why is over the last 7 or 8 years, the FPV world has developed the I was gonna put it in air quotes, but I don't need to. The correct formula for carrying a full-size GoPro, right? Which is 5-inch freestyle rigs as we know them. To take a micro Apex on a much smaller motor and a much different propeller, and then to try to carry a full-size GoPro around, it's just the wrong setup, right? Like it's just not right. So like, if you have like a really good reason for doing that, like I'm all ears, and I don't want to like shoot you down one way or the other, but you know, I think it's easy for us to get kind of carried away with like, oh, I want to be unique, or I want to do this a little bit differently, or I want to use something that I already have to do this other task, and like I did that for a long time, and it limits you, like it limits you big time. Maybe it's going to limit you on flight performance. Maybe it's going to limit you on durability. Maybe it's going to limit you on part selection, but it's going to limit you. So yeah, I would think I would just approach it from that standpoint. Because yeah, a 5-inch micro Apex carrying a full-size GoPro, I mean, it's doable, but it's not going to fly good. Good's not the right word there, but it's not going to fly anywhere near as good as a proper 5-inch freestyle rig, I guess is the right statement to make in that respect. I've carried a full-size GoPro with an 1804 motor on a 4-inch rig. It carried it. It flew, but it didn't fly anything like, you know, the formula that we've developed in FPV, which is a 600 to 700 gram 5-inch freestyle rig. And then, you know, if I crashed that rig, it would just absolutely grenade everything because it's just overloaded with that heavy of a camera, stuff like that. So yeah, I would give that a lot of thought because, again, I get it, man. I totally get it. Like I try to be different and do things different all the time, but you really got to catch yourself every once in a while with that sort of mindset, because it can lead you down a path where like you're pouring hours and hours and hours into it, and it's just, you know, and the end result is something that doesn't fly as good, and that's just kind of silly in my opinion. CiottiFPV says, I have a RunCam hybrid that has one of the really small wires that connects to the board broken. Will this matter much? It would be cool to know before I put it in my ripsqueak. I have no idea, Scott. I mean, I don't. I've never had one of the really small wires break on one of my RunCam hybrids, and I don't know anything. All I know about RunCam hybrids is I solder the wires on the board up and they work. So yeah, I've no clue. My guess would be yes. My guess would be that, you know, if there's a wire, it does matter, and if it's broken, it ain't gonna work. But that's a total guess. Darkman says, I'll give some later pitch props a go then. Yellow Captain says there's relation between weight and prop disc area. 3-inch below 250 grams, 3.5 250 to 300, 4-inch 300 to 350, 5-inch 580 to 650. In my opinion, I would push those numbers up a little bit. I would say 3-inch below 250 grams, absolutely. 3.5 I think you could push that 250 to 350, and then for 4-inch, I would push that 350 to like 450, maybe even 450. But yeah, and a lot of that is personal preference. There are people who really like the way that a lighter weight prop rig with a bigger propeller feels or flies. And that's totally fine. But for me, I try to get all of my rigs to fly as similar as possible to a 5-inch freestyle rig. That's like the main rig. So yeah, that's where my little brackets of weight kind of come from. But everybody's different. Tim Coker says, StarTech, my bad. I messaged you on Facebook. Nice. Thanks, Tim. Much appreciated. Cool. We're good to go. What's up, Super Deluxe? How the hell are you? I said as I pushed the wrong button. Cool. Caught up on chat. I will get rolling on this here 250. So I think where we left off is I need to get the AIO mounted. We got the race wires all hooked up. This is where I'm not gonna solder the motors on until like the last step, which is one of the things I love about these race wires, is that you can just do this right here. You can build the ESC, or in this case AIO, exactly like this, and then do all of your work, and then at the last second you just come in and just bloop, your motor's right on. You're soldering out here on the arm, it's nice and easy, and you're good to go. Having the motors hooked up to this squid is a bitch because they're heavy and they're flopping gangly all around the place. With just these little guys on here, it's much easier to kind of manage this guy. So I also feel like I remember that I need to replace this one wire. So let me actually do that first before I forget. What gauge are these wires here? These are 24. So let me get some 24 gauge wire here going. And is this my wire container? Yeah, it is. 2018. Let's say 24. That's 26. Here's the 24. All right, is this roughly the same wire? Yeah, I think it is. All right, cool. I need to actually make another one of these. I need a better wire. I save all my wires when I cut them off the motors and shit. That way I've never needed to buy any wire. But I need a better... I have like scrap wire fucking everywhere right now. I need a little bit of a better setup. I think what I need to do is just get another one of those plastic bastards and have one dedicated to 5-inch rigs and one dedicated to micro rigs. So I can do like 30 gauge, 28 gauge, 26 gauge, 24 gauge in the one, and then 22, 20, 18, and 16 in the other. So I just want this to be a little bit longer. I don't need a lot of extra wire length here, so I'm going to cut this there. That should be just about enough. Where'd it go? All right, let's see. So if that's there, yeah, that should be enough. That should be plenty. Always use your fingernails on these smaller gauge wires to strip the insulation off. It's the safest way to do it, and it just takes a split second, as you just saw. So let's get this guy tinned up, and then we will swap this one wire over. No big deal. Family Guyver says, love 5-inch rigs, but my neighbors would rather I fly the quieter 3-inch rigs around the neighborhood than yin and yang of the 5-inch sound. Yeah, very true. Very true. That's why I originally got into micros, is that I wanted to fly basically around people. Not really, that really wasn't it. It was just I wanted to fly safely. The problem is 5-inch rigs fly better. There's really no, you really can't like doubt that. They just it's just a more immersive isn't the right word. It's you get into like the fourth dimension, like we were talking about earlier, of flying, which is momentum. And yeah, you just don't quite get that. You don't get quite enough of that, in my opinion, with the smaller rigs. Okay, so it's this one here. So let's just get this popped off here. Pop one off. It's called a desk pop. Everybody's doing it. Pop one off. Go ahead. Anybody know that movie? I don't remember the name of that movie at the moment, to be completely honest. But I liked it. It's with Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg. Marky Mark. I'm a fan of Marky Mark. He's funny. He's funny. That guy, he's okay with me. I bet he's a fan of mine, too. Woo, boy. Get that taken care of here. I was a little slow on that pad. Alright, that's good enough. Good enough, and then we're gonna get it onto the race wire here. I call them race wires, but they're actually LED, race LED. I don't know what the fuck they're actually called, but you guys know what I mean. Okay, just want to bend this out a little bit. Yeah, there we go. That's better. Okay, let's get this fella where he belongs. And okay, cool. Whoop. Get back here. You jackass. Oh, come on, you dick face. Don't make me work so hard. Just be cool. Alright, so I'm using the little plastic nipple here on the wood block to keep this the memory of the wire is wanting this thing to move away. I don't know. Whatever. You guys know what I'm dealing with. Alright, so that's better. That's a little bit longer. That should reach around that little corner. Reach around! Hey! Superlux says, your comment on Bot's long-range video is hilarious. Yeah, I had to. I'm so fucking sick of long-range people. But yeah, it's not long-range. Yeah, you only flew 6 kilometers. Yeah, long-range begins at 100 kilometers. Shut the fuck up. What? In what fucking world do you think that you're able to define what long-range is? Get the fuck out of here. Sit on my face, you douche. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, the really hardcore long-range guys get really upset if you say that you flew long-range and you didn't go less than, like, they have some fucking dumbass arbitrary number, like 5 kilometers or some shit like that. And it's like, fuck you. Who the fuck are you to, like, define what long-range is? What, like, do you really have that little going on that, like, that's what you're concerning yourself with? Come on, sit on my face, you fuck. Richard says, I guess I've been trying to avoid building a full-size quad, but I sacrifice durability and performance for trying to lift a full-size GoPro. I may have to build a full-size 5-inch. Yeah, I mean, if you really want to move a full-size GoPro around properly, like, we've got the formula. You know, we have the formula. Trying to do it with something less than the formula, like, it's just gonna... It's just gonna be a whole big list of sacrifices, and, like, it's just annoying. It just gets annoying after a while, to be honest. It really does. And, like, you know, you'll crash and shit'll blow up, and it's like, fuck. So yeah, sticking with the form, like, again, I love being different, right? But there's a point where it's like, well, fuck. I should have just stuck with the formula. Let me see something. Let me see something here. Where's the 26 by 20? Nah, see, that's way too high. Way too high. So what I'm figuring out right now is how long I need this hardware to be. Oh, wait a second. That's actually... Oh, Jesus, is that the right hardware length? No. Really? Might be. Oh, shit. Oh, yeah, this will sit nice on that arm now. Wow, okay. Maybe, I guess I can reuse this hardware. No shit. So I need to find a big old spacer for this. So what I'm probably going to do is use a nylon spacer like I did in the rear. So let's see what I got here. So that is a 4mm arm, and then this is like another 1mm or so. Can I use one of these guys maybe? Let's see. Let's see how tall this fella is. Not quite tall enough. Okay, so I need either that and another guy, or I feel like I need like maybe like an 8mm standoff here. Yeah, it was way too tall. Do I have a mid-length nylon? No, I don't. So I'm just going to use these guys. These guys are 10mm. And I think, yeah, it's going to be perfect. So we're going to use aluminum. It's going to be a little heavier, but that's fine. We'll use these little 10mm fellas. Forget where I got these from. Either Pyro Drone or Race Day Quads or Newbie Drone. I don't remember which. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to use these. I'm going to use this existing hardware that I was using on the previous version of this build, because it looks like it's a little too. Looks like it's a little bit too long, but that's actually okay. That'll let me raise the AIO up a little bit extra, and that's not a terrible thing. So what I'm going to do is run this spacer down, and now I'm just going to test fit this AIO in here to see if that's enough, and it absolutely is. It's a little bit too much, but it's going to be fine. Yeah. Sweet! Alright. Reusing hardware. Huzzah. So let's... Those are the 20 by 20. Is this thing really drilled for 30 by 30? Or is that... Or can you mount the... Wow, it is. It is drilled for 30 by 30. I'll be goddamned. Tommy, okay. Interesting. Cool. But we're not doing a 30 by 30 build here. We are sticking with 26 by 26. Kirby Tim says it's really only like 2 or 3 guys who are assholes who try to gatekeep long range. Really, that's good, because every time I've heard that, I've been like, what the fuck? Like, really? Most hardcore long range pilots are cool with people who decide to dip their toes in with just 1 kilometer or so. Well, that's good to know. Mikhail says, first time experiencing flyaways after dropping in a new Acon F4 board. What the hell do I do to stop flyaways? Quad also drifts and is not in control on the stick. Sounds a lot like the gyro on that flight controller has failed. If the only change you made was going from one flight controller to another, then yeah, I mean, it kind of has to be a mechanical problem. Always remember that, you know, if you only change something mechanical and there's a new problem, the issue can't possibly be software related, right? Because why the fuck would it be? The software is all exactly the same between the previous mechanical part and the new mechanical part. So yeah, we tend to like blame our tunes for everything, which in a lot of cases is the right move, but in some cases isn't. So yeah, if you made a mechanical change and there's now a problem, then the mechanical change is the problem, not anything else. Flyaways are caused by too many vibrations getting into the gyro, and the filtering is not aggressive enough to handle it, or the PID loop is set too aggressive to handle it. So that's the root cause. The root cause is too many vibes. Well, no. The root cause is either too many vibes getting into the gyro, or the gyro is bad, and it is giving false readings, basically. So yeah, the situation you're describing, though, certainly sounds like the gyro is bad, right? Because you put that flight controller in, you didn't change anything else. I'm assuming you used the same filters, the same PID tune. You know, I'm kind of assuming that you did a dump, that you did a CLI dump to get from the old setup to the new setup. And yeah, if those things are all true, then yeah, you got a bad gyro, more than likely. But also check and make sure that like there's nothing. I mean, I'm assuming if you built it with the previous flight controller, that you built it similar with this new one, so there's not like a physical issue, but that is an assumption, and assumptions do make an ass out of you and me, as we all know. So yeah, check everything, but that's my guess on that one there. All right, look at that. So we got acres of room underneath this AIO. I believe that we've got, yeah, it looks like we got plenty of room above it. So away we go. We can start soldering more things up. I do need to get a battery lead onto this AIO, and I want to try to figure out which one is the right length. So let's do this. Let's test fit this top plate here, and then so if I've got these battery leads, oh man, I might run these battery leads downwards. I've got so much space on the bottom. I think I actually will. I think I'm gonna run these battery leads down. Well, that's gonna gobble up a bunch of space. I would, man, now I'm second. I forgot about that. I forgot I'm going to have that battery lead poking upwards. I should have enough space, though. Should be okay. Once that's flattened out, it'll be like there, and then I can make a pretty tight turn on these battery leads. Problem with facing it downwards is it's going to eat up a bunch of the cable length. So what I want to make sure of is that there's going to be enough battery lead length to reach the 4S850s that I run. So they sit here. Yeah, I mean, this should be fine. Come out and around the corner. Here, it'll come up around the corner. Just kind of sit like that. What else do I have? This one's a little bit longer. Maybe I'll use this one that's a little longer. What's it's positive on that side, negative on that side. Yeah, I think this might be my jam. Although this one's a little too long on the one side. Well, it's the same length on the other side. I am going to use this one, and I am going to shorten up this one on the red side. So let's see how much shorter I'm going to make it. Let's get an idea here. Just want it to be able to turn this corner, and then kind of be long enough but not too long, sort of thing. Well, wait, no. Where's the battery strap sit, though? I like to get these XT30s under the battery strap. So the battery strap is going to be there. So actually, I think I might use the shorter one. I think I might use this little short boy. 16 gauge versus, I don't know what this is, but this is definitely thinner. Yeah, I'm going to use this little friend. Get him up in there.
Okay. Yellow Captain says long range guys are shitty freestylers. Mikhail says thank you. It did change the mounting. It's 20 by 20. I had 30 by 30 previously, and the mounting screws seem shoddy on the new board. FPV cycle frame for Reddit hardware. Boards are now all spread out like hey. But
yeah, make sure there's nothing banging into the 20 by 20 or anything like that. Always look for mechanical stuff before you go down the software side of troubleshooting, because if you have a bad mechanical system and you spend 100 hours on the software side, it's never going to fly as good as fixing the mechanical system, and like even having a stock software setup, PID tune, filter tune, all that stuff. Okay, so let me check the cable length on this fella here. Yeah, we're good. Okay, so I'm going to take this AIO off and put this battery lead onto it. I don't know why the hell I turned off the soldering iron. It's very obvious that I'm going to need to be soldering here today. So yeah, we're going to put this through there, but the first thing I need to do is fix these, fix the wire. What's up, Jay? Yeah, I know. So this 250 frame is not great with a 20 by 20 stack. So this frame really wants to have an AIO. It's been a while since I've done a build with an AIO, so it's I want to make sure that I'm not unfairly crucifying them. I know I'm not, but so yeah, it's good for me to revisit AIOs and see if maybe I was wrong. I'm okay with being wrong, and so should you. The only time you learn anything is when you're wrong. So be wrong, call yourself out on it, be okay with being wrong, and move on with your life. It ain't easy being wrong. It's also not easy being green. But that didn't stop Kermit the Frog, so don't let it stop you. That one took a turn. And so what I'm doing is I'm removing, by flicking off the end of this, I'm trying to remove little bits of solder because I want this to be skinny enough to fit into those through holes in the AIO. I think I'm about there. There we go. Let me pick up some of this solder off of here. All right, there we go. Cool, so let's see if I got these guys skinny enough to fit through these through holes. I did not on either one of them. So what I'm going to try to do is use a little bit of solder braid, but I might actually need to go over to the other connector that is on thinner gauge wire. But let's try the solder braid first, because this little XT30 is the length of wire that I want. So let's just get that going there. All right, so that removed a good amount of solder. Now let's do the ground. Shitters. go. Give that a second or two. You can just watch the solder wick up into the solder wick. It's pretty cool. All right, so that removed a ton of solder. Let me now come back in, flatten these guys out, and we'll give it another go. At this point, like, I want to add solder to get these things to melt, but that's exactly what I'm not trying to do. If you have a solder sucker, in my opinion, throw it away and get this solder wick. In both my and my father's opinion, this is much safer and much more effective. There's all the info on it. You can get this on Amazon. It's a much better way of removing solder from a board or, as you just saw, a tinned wire. Freelojo says, how do you pop a MIPI connection? Please show. I just use my fingernail. I just put my fingernail under the corner of it and just boop and just pop it up. No real trick. Robert says, are you soldering the capacitor next? Maybe. It depends. Once I get into the frame, I'll see sort of like an order of operations. Yeah, I mean, I removed a bunch of solder from these guys, and they still don't want to go through the through holes. So I'm going to ditch this one, and I'm going to use this one, which has a slightly thinner gauge of wire on it. So let me do that whole process again. And I'm going to cut the positive lead a little bit longer than the negative, just because it has to travel a slightly longer distance the way that I'm building this rig. And let's go here. Freelojo, yeah, that's a healthy fear. The MIPI shit is kind of fragile, but you'll be alright. You'll be alright. Just be careful. As long as you're careful, you'll be fine. If you're being reckless about it, that's when you're going to break it. But just be, yeah, this is good to go. This will be totally fine going through there. This guy, a little bit of solder removed from here, and we'll be golden. Okay. Oops. The solder ball just went flying. All right, that should be good. Let's see. The positive is fine. It is not tinned. I am going to try to lightly tin it in a second here. And the negative is now fine too. Okay, cool. So let's tin the positive up very, very lightly. I don't want it to be any thicker, or else it might not want to go in there. So just ever so slightly. I add as little solder as I possibly can here. Oh. Big old solder ball just happened. Oh, cool. It just fell off, though. That's nice of it. Thanks for falling off there, solder ball. I did end up getting a little too much on there. That's probably fine, though. Okay, let's see. Still skinny enough? Yeah, good to go. All right, cool. So with these through holes, what I like to do is solder them up from the bottom, basically. So one more thing I want to do is just trim a little bit of this Well, let's see. Can I pull the silicone down at all? Yeah, I got a little bit more length on the silicone there. That's nice. I'm going to cut a tiny little bit of it off. Alright, that's good. So we're going to put this guy upside down. No, that's right side up. It was upside down. And we're going to run these through. And I'll kind of like balance it a little bit. I'll do them one at a time. I like to try to batch them and do both of them at once, but I cut the one wire a little bit shorter, which is going to make that kind of a pain in the ass. So let's just get that going like that. And there we go. Okay, cool. So now when using these through holes, you just want to make sure you dump enough solder into them so that the whole thing has a nice strong connection. The whole point of using the through holes, in my opinion, is that you get the strongest possible connection. And without dumping a bunch of solder into it, you're not going to get the strongest possible connection. So make sure you dump enough solder into it. That was a pretty good one, although I'm not happy with how the wire is sitting. So let me do this. I'm going to heat it up while I hold the wire, and then I'm just going to fix the way the wire is sitting. Basically, the wire is sitting at an angle now, and I don't want that. I want the wire to be going straight up. So there we go. That's how I want it. Being burned. It's okay. And cool. So now that red wire is just shooting straight up. That's what we want. And then I do want to make sure that I can get a little angle on it. And yeah, we should be fine there. So now we're going to do the negative, which going to be a little bit harder because I cut it a little bit shorter, but it's going to be all right. I'm actually going to, well, how am I going to do this? Get out of the way. How am I going to do this? What if I put it like that? There we go. That's gonna work. Need it to stay in there for a second while I'm dumping solder into the through hole. So I'm gonna tin the shit out of the tip of the soldering iron here, and then bring it on in, and then add a bunch more. So to make a quick adjustment there. Now here we go. All right, and now that one's pretty good, but it's not facing quite right. Just fix it real quick. Just reapply the heat. There we go. All right. So that is now good to go. I am going to need to get the capacitor soldered up to the bottom of these little guys, but that shouldn't be too difficult. The one thing that I do really want to check right now is that I'm going to be able to bend these wires over enough to clear the top plate. So the camera is going to sit down in there like that. And then the top plate is going to sit up here. I just want to sort of get an idea of how much height I have to play with. Not much at all. kind of wish I'd run this downwards. Shit. The problem is gonna be, and this is the problem with AIOs, if these power leads are rubbing up against the top plate, they're going to be putting bad gyro data into the gyro. So I got to make sure that I can really get these power leads bent over hard so that they don't do that. And it looks like I was able to just do that. Okay, yeah, so we're fine. Well, let me just make sure. Yeah, we're fine. That's clearing the top of the thing in the place. All right, so that's good to go. Okay, great. So all of the pads are on the top of the AIO. So the first thing that I want to solder up is, in fact, the capacitor, because the capacitor is going to get soldered to the bottom of the AIO. And yeah, I want to do that first. So let's get that rolling here. I gotta get some of these wires the fuck out of the way. This is a goddamn rat's nest up in here. So let me feed some of these backwards a little bit here just to get them out of the way. There's a receiver antenna going rearwards. Here's another one. I'm just going to thread it through this little comm dock setup that I've built on this thing. I used these 15mm plastic standoffs to build a little platform for the DVR board for the Runcam hybrid, and then underneath that I've got the VTX and the RXSR in the middle of that little. See it down in there? Works really well. I've done this before. It's a nice simple little kind of setup to get all your communication shit in one spot. Okay, so let's get that the hell out of the way. So now I need to figure out what's positive and what's negative on this capacitor, because I continue to use black wires for both like a jackass. So this is on top, and on top is negative. So I just let go of it. I have an idea though. I have a little red Sharpie. I can mark this one wire with some red. So that would be the bottom wire that I want to mark with red, right? Yeah. All right, cool. So now that wire has some red on it. Look at the big brain on Brad. Freelojo's putting a split 3 nano without desoldering motors. Martin, great. Wayne says, make sure you're able to access the USB once the standoffs are on. Tommy had to rotate his AIO by 90 degrees in his build video. Good call, Wayne. I hope to fucking hell I don't have that problem. You know, I was thinking about that the other day, but then I was like, no. I'm sure Tommy thought about that. I am going to have a problem with that. I am going to have a problem with that. So he rotated it like, so that won't work because the camera cage will be in the way. That won't work because the camera cage will be in the way. Fuck. I would need to mount it like that. Well, I can just pull that stand. I'll just pull that stand off. I do most of my tuning in the OSD anyway. Like, this will be annoying the way it is here, but it won't be the end of the world. It's a good call on that one. Yeah, I am going to have that issue because the USB is directly in line with with where this standoff is going to be. But yeah, I'll just pull that standoff anytime that I need to get to the USB. That's not the end of the world. As long as I can sneak it around the corner of the, yeah, so that'll be fine. Good call, though. Let me plug this AIO into USB to make sure that it fires up. I think I've already done this before. Alright, cool. So the lights come on, that's a good thing. While I'm at it, I might as well... It's fucking fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. So I gotta get this. This is gonna be tight, man. I'm actually gonna pull this RunCam hybrid board off of here because this is gonna be really tight trying to get this capacitor soldered up. It would be a lot easier if I removed the capacitor, but I ain't doing that shit. I'll be able to make this work. Jay Drone says the only positive experience I've had with AIOs was the 25 amp JHE-MCO on the Fonster frame. A-Van 2.5 inch props. Thing was bomb proof. Nice. Only blew up because of my shitty soldering. Freeler just says, ouch. Bent over hard. Yeah, I hate to have to bend the wires over so hard, but sometimes you just have to. Yeah, I mean, usually you can bend them over really hard and then leave them like that, as long as you're not like bending them and then straightening them and then bending them and then straightening them. You know, as we know, as men, bending and then straightening over and over again is no good. Know what I'm saying? Gentlemen's? Okay. So let's get this going. So that's the negative there. So I feel like I can maybe put it up like this, get that negative on, get the positive on, and then flip the whole thing over. Yeah, I think this is going to work. Where can I come in with the heat, though? I need to move these little 30 gauge bastards out of the way. Get out of here. Alright, that should be good enough. And then kind of balance this like that. That bent out of the way. Oh, well, wait, I can just do this. I can just do this. Yeah, yeah, perfect. Perfect. Perfect! Yes! Just enough. Just barely enough. Okay. So let's get this right on the first hit because I don't want to put so much temperature into this joint that the wire on the other side moves. So let me get this right here. All right. It's in the tip, and I just want to get this quick. Come on, come on, come on. Get in and get out. And it melted, and it's out. It's not quite good enough. I need it to be a little better than that. That's the one. All right, that was the negative. Now we're gonna do the positive. Let's get this motor wire out of the way. And here we go. And I do want to make sure these are kind of going straight back. I should have done this in the other order, but that's okay. I'll make it work. Perfect. Exactly where I need it. In and out. Ah, jitters. The tweezers slipped. All right, let's get that again. I'm gonna use fresh solder so that there's flux on it. Okay. Almost. Just need to remove a little bit of the solder. It made a little Hershey kiss on top, and we don't want that. Jesus. Come on, man. That's the one. Cool, and now I'm going to check to make sure that the battery wires didn't shift. Alright. And positive did a little bit. Fuck. Positive did pull out a little bit. Let's see if that's going to affect the height of the top of that. Nah, we're good. Yeah, we're good. We fine. Cool. Capacitor's hooked up. Hopefully it's not hooked up backwards. As soon as I put power to this, we'll find out by whether or not it explodes. Capacitor's exploding is not the end of the world, for the record. S. Grace says you can always get one of those 90-degree USBs. That's true. But I think I actually have one on order, weirdly. But I think the top plate, yeah, see the top plate is in the way, so that wouldn't do any good. It would need to be a 90-degree, like, out this way. But it's fine. I don't need to hook up to USB all that often. We'll be alright. Alright. Those guys are good to go. Freelojo says, now you're hotboxing joints. Freelojo also, whether that's what she said. Paul McDonald says, is there any good way to keep the solder from running up the wire? Great question, Paul. Being quick. The only way to do it is to be quick. The longer that you're on, the longer that you're dumping... Alright, so here's why that happens. Right, you've got your wire, and this is the stripped part of the wire. So you put this is your soldering iron, my finger. You put your soldering iron on the wire, and the heat travels up the wire. Right? We all know this because even when we hold the wire really far down, eventually our fingers will get hot, right? So you put the soldering tip on, the heat starts traveling up the wire. What most people don't realize about solder is that solder goes towards the heat. So when you do this and you start dumping heat into the wire, the longer you're on it and the more heat you dump into the wire, the more the solder is going to trace up the wire itself. So time and temperature. Less time and or less temperature. I find that less time is way more effective than less temperature. Because when you start turning your soldering iron down, now you've got to sit on here for longer, and the extra time tends to have a higher temperature with a shorter amount of time keeps the solder from traveling up the wire better than a longer amount of time with a lower temperature. That's what I was trying to say. So yeah, gotta be quick. Gots to be quick. Okay, so now we can start soldering shit up. We've got to run... so we've got an RXSR and a Tramp Nano. So we need to look up a wiring diagram. The silk screening is okay. Let me see if I can read the silk screening with a little 5x loop here. We've got video out, 5 volt and ground right on the back. Wow! JHEMCU, look at you. Look at you go. Making life easy. Okay. So let's knock that out first. That's pretty fucking fantastic. So I'm just going to put these RXSR wires over here. You know what's annoying though? Is there's not a telemetry pad. You fuckwads! Why didn't you put a... Really? Oh, there they are. There they are. They're right up here. There's a TX2 and RX2 up there. So, man, that is right in between all the chipsets, though. Fuck a duck. So we want that TX2 pad. That's so. Let's get some shit soldered up. Man, this is gonna be tough. We're gonna be soldering to the middle of this goddamn thing. But we gonna be all right. We gonna be all right. We're going on this TX2 pad. I'm just gonna put the tip of the soldering iron down on the pad. Gonna sneak some solder in the side there, and there we go. Just like that. And now we're gonna handle these. Video out. 5-volt and ground. Hopefully, I've got a little bit of extra wire length on the white wire here. And I do! Look at that! It's the perfect length. That is very exciting. Let me cut. There's a little bit of extra on here that I really don't need. And the rest of these little fellas. So I'm going to do that one last. I'm going to do these other guys first. And let's see how the wire lengths are on these little buddies. A little too long. But at least they're all roughly the same length. So let me get these. Let me get a couple rotations on these three, and see if that will eat up enough of the wire length. Let's take a look here. And you know what? These guys are not the same length. This the video wire is the longest, but it's not that big of a deal because it does have to go the farthest. Let's just do this. See what happens here. Okay. So what do we got going on? We got a little wire bundle. I can push it downwards a little bit. And okay. That should be fine. Let me just clean up the ends of these wires a little bit. That looks fine. So we're going to do ground first, and then 5-volt, and then video. So these guys are bundled up here. We need the ground first, so let's get that out. And into the tweezers. That is what she said, Freelacho. Alright, so let's get this ground wire going. Come on. There we go. It was a funny angle. When you reverse, things come from behind you, Tyrone. Oh, come on, man. Why you gotta do me like that? Joint. Okay. Clean that one up a little bit. There we go, that's better. That's the stuff. All right, ground is on. Let's grab the 5-volt. Get that guy up here. Okay. And I actually need to clean up this wire end. It's all fanned out, all stupid like. Get that fixed real quick first here. That's good enough. Good enough. Alright, there's the 5 volt. Let me actually check that because that did fan out a little bit when I put it down on the pad. No, we're good. Yeah, that's fine. And then the video out. Get this guy in the right spot. And dropped on there. Let me actually rotate the tweezers to the other side for this one. There we go. Oh, that ain't gonna fly. Well, yeah, no, that'll be fine. Get it pushed down, and we'll be good to go. Shit, it just moved. Let me move these guys out of the way. That's the problem here. Much better. Come on. There we go. There it is. Ah! Stop moving. There it is. As it moves again. Fuck you. Come on, man. Stay there. Stay there. Stay there. Stay there. Stay there. Oh, yeah. I think that was it. Let's see. Yep. Good to go. Cool. VTX is wired up. Next up. What's next up? What are we doing next? RxSR, right? Yeah, RxSR is next. Okay. I need to get the loop out again to read the silk screening on these fucking pads. So we got, oh no, the TX2. We need a little bit of smart audio in our lives, of course. This is going to be kind of a pain in the ass. I'm going to come in with the heat from this angle so that I'm as clear as possible of the main F7 and the OSD chip. And then with the tweezers here, I'm just going to make sure that this wire is coming in from the right direction too, so that it sits flat as possible at least. There's a little capacitor right next to it, makes it kind of hard. There we go, that's where I wanted it. I'm not going to add any solder yet. Nah, I'm going to need a little bit. That should be it. Now I'm going to take a really good hard look at this one because it's just coming in at a funny angle. Yeah, we're fine. Wow, yeah, that got right up in there. I mean, like, I might be able to get it a little bit better, but it's just the smart audio wire. So I'm actually going to leave it as is. Give it a little push to make sure it's not going to pop off. Same thing with these guys. And we're all set. Cool. VTX is all hooked up. Next up is the RxSR. So let's figure out where we're going to, what pads we're going to put that on. So we've got buzzer minus LED 5 volt ground, TX6 RX6 S bus 4.5 volt. So I'm going to have to put it on S bus. So that's decided. And then I'll use that 5 volt and ground there. So S bus ground 5 volt, boom, boom, boom. And then I'll use that TX6 pad there. So let's get those tinned up. And we want I'll go from the inside out. So we want this ground. And then 5 volt. And then TX and S bus. Make sure I got enough solder on that S bus pad. Now we're good. And while I'm at it, I might as well tin up the pads I'm going to need for the run cam, which is just video in and then another 5 volt and another ground. So it's up in the front here. Video in, 5 volt, ground, the front 3 pads. So I'll just bang that out real quick. Ground. 5 volt. Video in. Fuck. Oh, we're good. It bridged, but I cleared the bridge like immediately. Okay, so this build is going to be pulling on the 5 volt BEC pretty hard. The VTX is going to be pulling on the 5 volt back on the AIO. The RXSR is going to be pulling on it, and the run cam board. Technically, I could put an external 5 volt BEC on this rig. I have room under the AIO for it, but then I would have to tap another set of wires into the voltage, the pads here. I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna this 5 volt back should be able to handle this. It should be okay. Maybe it won't be, but it should be okay. Let me look up what the output rating is on the 5 volt BEC for this AIO. JHE MCU 35 amp AIO. I think, right? I think it's a 35 amp. Yep, that's the one. Images. And so this is an older one, so I've got to find the old. That's the new one. The new one has JHE MCU silk screened on it. I think this is the one. F405A. Yeah, this is the one. Let me just make sure. Yeah, this is it. This is it. Okay, so let's see what the output is on the 5 volt back. Hopefully it's 2 amps. That would be great. But if it's only 1 amp, it should be fine. You fucking kidding me? They're not going to tell me? God damn it. Is it here and I just don't see it? I don't think so. Come on, man, really? Saying here somewhere? Nope. Oh well. Even if it's 1 amp, it should be fine. But if it's 2 amp, that would be really nice. See if I can find it on another website. Get that spec. Pirate drone, pirate. Oh, here it is on JHE MCU's website. Cool. Come on, come on. Tell me what I want to know. No, see, this is copied and pasted to the Pirate Drone page. Oh man, it pisses me off when they don't when they don't give you all the info that you need. God damn it. Well, whatever. If JHE-MCU is not publishing that spec here on their own website, there's not much of a chance that one of these other websites will have the proper spec. Oh well, we tried. Know what I'm saying? All we can do is try. That's all. We'll just go ahead and assume that it's going to be fine. That always goes well, doesn't it? Alright, cool. RXSR coming up. That's going to get hooked up to this side of the board. And look at that. Just enough wire length. So let me get some twists on these wires just to keep them all bundled up nice and together. Oh, fuck. Where'd that one go? No, there we go. Okay, hold on. Hold on. This one out of here. This one over there. There it is. We got black, red, yellow, white. So let me just stack these guys up, my fingers, and we'll play a little game of spin the quad to get some turns. Okay. A couple little spins here. All right, good deal. And hopefully that's still long enough. Yeah, just barely. I'm actually going to loosen this up a little bit, just to make absolutely sure that there's enough. Yeah, there we go. Okay, cool. Here we go. Hey, yeah. We're with a skateboard. Birthday dumps. I've never heard of a birthday dump. Is that just taking a dump on your birthday? If so, I mean, I guess it's a thing. I mean, it's something that you know, most of us poop once a day. So even on your birthday, in theory, you're gonna have a birthday dump. So I think the answer to your question is yes, weirdo. I think that birthday dumps are still a thing. If anything, with how shitty our diet is in this country, birthday dumps might be even more of a thing. Too many goddamn cheeseburgers. Alright, I'm just going to shorten these guys up. So these pads are really small. I just want to keep the keep these little buddies as short as possible. Alright, that should be fine. 5 volt is going to be first, and then we're going to do ground, and then we're going to do the front too. So let's go 5 volt here. And let me just move the work around so I can come in with the soldering iron like that. Alright, so 5 volt first here. That wire laid down nice and flat. Okay. Oops. Hold on. Alright, cool. 5 volt is good. Bring the ground in. Come on. Yeah, that's the stuff. Okay. Ground right next door. Always be a little bit more patient with ground pads because they have a big old layer of copper hooked up to them. Let's see. 5-volt pad looks fine. Ground pad looks great, actually. So then we're going to go S-Bus and TX6. The question is, what color is what? On the RXSR, we've got black, then red, then yellow, then white. Black, red, yellow, white. RX XSR FR Sky. And we're going to go into images. And let's take a look. So we've got S port and then S bus out. I thought so. Telemetry and then S bus out. Okay. Telemetry, then S bus out. So the yellow is telemetry and the white is S bus. So we're going to put the yellow over here on TX6. And then the white is going to go on the S bus pad. And our RXSR will be wired up. Okay, there's one. Here comes the last. Coming at a little bit of an angle on this one, but it's because I'm running out of cable length. That should be good. Let me have a look. Both look like shit. I gotta redo. I gotta rework. Alright, let's clean the tip of the soldering iron. I'm gonna get this one a little bit flatter on the surface here, and then we should be alright. Much better. And then this one. I just need to make sure I got it hot enough. That's better. That's what I wanted to see. Cool. Good enough. All right, so this little wire bundle is good to go. It's kind of sitting up off of the surface of the well, shit. This wire bundle is going to be too tall, isn't it? Man, I think I might need to get this AIO mounted down a little bit farther. Which isn't the end of the world. See, this is getting tall up here. I don't want to... Nah, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. I can see where that's going to sit, and it's going to be okay. Yeah, it'll be fine. Cool. S. Gray says, Banggood, it says it's rated up to 2.5 amps. Holy hell, but I'm not sure I trust that one. Yeah, it's true. Birthday with Skateboard says, Birthday Dive is taking age, add 3, and you get to punch them that many times on the arm. Basically, you get to beat the shit out of your mates on your birthday. Yeah, I remember that from when I was growing up. Robert says, tell us chip number on the 5-volt regulator. If it's not rubbed off, one of us can look it up. Look up its amp rating. It's a great idea. I think the 5-volt Beck is this silver bastard, which says 100. Maybe not, though. No, it's not that silver bastard. It's maybe this guy down here. AM? No, that's not it either, I don't think. There's a WJ51L. WJ-51L like Lima. What else? A lot of times they'll put multiple 5-volt BECs on these things, which is kind of cool. Because then, like if one 5-volt pad shits the bed, you can sometimes hook up to another one. There's another one that looks like a 5-volt Beck that says E39, E39. And then there's another one that says L303. Those are all the little buddies that look like 5-volt BECs. Although, what the hell is this? There's something else here that says 8K920. And those are all the 5-volt Beck looking bastards on there. Okay, there we go. Alright, so the only thing we need to do now is the RunCam hybrid board. Which, at this point, my main concern is getting all of this under the, getting this all to fit under the top plate, so it might be a little bit of a challenge, but we'll make it work. We'll make it work. As we always do about this time. Alright, so let me get this little wire bundle going here. I don't think this ground wire is going to have enough reach, but let's see. Yeah, this ground wire ain't going to be long enough. Nope! Alright, so I need to swap out the ground wire. That's fine. That's not the end of the world. What are we doing here? Give me a little 30 gauge action. It's a gate! Yeah, 661 correctly saying the BEC is a little black chip with 5 legs. I gave you all of the, I gave you guys all the numbers off of all the chips with 5 legs. So if it's not one of those, then I don't really know where it is. It's hidden. They hid it. Is this 30 gauge? Nope, it's 26. Give me a 30, god damn it! I don't have any in here. It's in the other thing, I'll bet. Yeah. This is where I have all the 30 gauge shit. I remember now. There's one. Is it long enough, though? Oh, yeah, plenty. Okay. I just gotta keep going. I just gotta keep fucking charging ahead. Get this guy off of here. Place it. Really? Come on, man. Help a brother out. Don't make me work so hard for it. Ground wire. Hey. You bastard. Really? You're gonna stick yourself back down? How dare you? There we go. Okay. Swap this one in. All right. Hey, my phone's reminding me of something. I wonder what it is. Okay, new 5-volt ground wire is on. What do you want, phone? What are you going to tell me? Be busy without being stressed. All right, I'll try my best. I'll try my best. Okay. Let's get this rolling here. So I want these wires to be sitting flat here to stay off the top plate, but then I want them to be spun up after that. So let's do that. Okay, cool. So what I need to do, what I like to do in this case, is pinch them and then turn them. Pinch them, turn them, pinch them, turn them. Okay. And then once you get them going, you can kind of just spin them in your fingertips, and that'll work. All right, cool. So that's gonna sit nice and flat, and then these guys, I'm thinking will probably kind of come over here like this to clear that guy. All right, this going. So they're gonna hang out there. Yeah, that's how that's gonna go. That's gonna come down there, and they're gonna run right up to that. Okay, cool. Or I could bring them over here. Yeah, that's actually what I'm gonna do. It's gonna come over here like that. Man, this fucking thing's gonna be tight. This top plate is gonna be all up on this business. All right, so let's cut these down a little bit, and then we're gonna re-strip and tin them. And then all this, no, it won't be. Some of the soldering will be done. Most of the soldering will be done. Still gonna have to solder the motors up. I might do that on Wednesday though. I'm sorry, not Wednesday. Tomorrow night, rather. Monday night. Red, black, yellow coming up. All right. Yeah. Cool. So we're gonna tin these, zap them down, and then I'm gonna go poop my pants. Guys excited to watch me poop? You're not gonna get to watch me pooping my pants. Nobody gets to watch that. That is a solo activity. You know what I'm saying? You guys know. You've shit your pants before. What the fuck? Here we go. Positive. Negative. Video. And then, what is it? Video in, 5-volt ground. So we're gonna do video in first, then 5-volt, then ground. Give it a little bit more of a twist here. Video. I think I can come in dry. That's what she said. Yep. And 5-volt is up next. A big old blob of solder. What the hell happened there? There we go, that's better. 5-volt. And ground. And just like that, the 250 is wired back up. Check those with the 5X loop. Oh, beautiful. God damn. I should be given a fucking Emmy for that soldering job. Fuck off. There you have it. That's how to rebuild a 250 with an electronics package that's going to perform worse than it previously did. But the frame's livability factor is going to be greatly improved since I can now replace the arms without pulling the 20x20 stack out of it. And that's a big deal. All right. This went pretty well. Just get this run cam board screwed back down here. Man, run cam put these screw holes like right next to components. My God. Easy way to measure wire gauge. Can use a no, JJ. You probably can use something like that, but I just throw away wire that doesn't say what the gauge is. Like most wires, they print a number and then AWG. And if I have a wire that doesn't have that printed on it, like this one, I just throw it away. Because I ain't got time for this shit. Put the goddamn gauge of the print the goddamn gauge of the wire on the wire. You know, if the company making the wire is so cheap that they're not willing to put the AW to print the gauge on the damn fucking wire, then I don't want their wire on my shit anyway. So that's my excuse. It's a pretty good excuse, right? I like that one. It's one of my better excuses. Just really trying to make sure that this is all gonna fucking fit when I put this top plate on. This is gonna be tight, man. This is gonna be real tight. And unto you, chat. Okay, so let's get some plastic nuts for the AIO. Okay, I'm gonna use 2mm thick plastic donkeys. Those guys are down in here in my little toolbox. Not a toolbox. What's this thing called? A little case? I don't know. Who fucking cares? Okay, so let's nut this fucker up here. And then I think I'm gonna call it a day. And we'll get the motors soldered on tomorrow night and just do like the simple final assembly shit. Plug in the run cam camera. And then for Whoop Wednesday, we can move on to a Cinesplore flight controller and ESC swap, which will be kind of cool. Looking forward to that. Okay. And then I think after that, I do have to do that on both Cinesplores, so maybe I'll do them both. And then I think we're going to get into some Ripsqueak builds. I'm gonna be trying to. So, I didn't work any flying gigs this week, and I think I think it's gonna slow down a little bit here. So I'm gonna be going hard on builds for a while here, because I want to try to get the Patreon going a little bit more, and the main thing that does that is giveaways. So if I focus on builds and do a bunch of builds here over the next month or two, I'll then have some full build giveaways to do, to try to entice some more people to come on back to the Patreon page. In April, the Patreon page got like up almost to 300 people, and like the monthly number was like almost $1,000 more than it is now. A lot of people jumped off at the end of April after I stopped giving away full builds. And thank God I started booking these flying gigs at that point, because, yeah, I wasn't making enough to live once that happened, now that I'm living alone. So, yeah, I gotta just be a little careful. But it'll be fine. It'll be fine. Have some faith in your gangly bro. Let's get some 15mm standoffs up in this motherfucker. None of them are in here. Where the hell are they? Did I make a... I did. I made a specific little case for them. What do I need? 4? Yeah, 4. 4 15mm standoffs, I think in purple, coming up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I don't want to use those. I want to use these gnarly boys. Right? Yeah. Gnarly boys coming at you. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think those are the right ones. Let's take a look. What part number is that AIO, Kevin Smith says? There is no part number. It just says JHEMCU GHF405 AIO. There is a newer version with the exact same name. This is the older version of it. Alright, so these little babies are going to go on here. I do have some longer hardware for these arm locations. Get that rolling real quick here. Just put a couple of these guys on. And then leave the one off by the USB, because I'm going to have to use that USB port. What the fuck? The fuck are you going to cross thread like that? How dare you? What? What the? Dude, what? You know what? Fuck you. I'll show you, you asshole. Oh, shitters. Oh boy. That's gonna leave a mark. Literally! And I'm using ARM hardware that has a little bit more thread engagement than normal, because I just don't trust these stupid-ass aluminum standoffs. Like, they're not all that strong. So I always use hardware on the arms that has a little bit of extra length to engage more of the threads of the standoffs. And this is what that looks like. This is how much extra thread I like to see. See it there? So that's the thread engagement that I really like to have on the arm bolts, because they take a hell of a beating. probably overkill on this rig because the arms are skinny. And I have heard of a bunch of people breaking these arms. But I really hate stripping out these standoffs. So with the little bit of extra arm jib jab, it helps out with that quite a bit. So let's see how this is all gonna fit under the top plate. Oh, we are good to go. Oh wow, there's way more room than I thought. Oh yes. Oh fuck yeah. Okay. Okay. So we are good to go. Now I'm also feeling like kind of feeling like this is too. These 15 millimeters are not the right size. Are these too tall? Let's see. Moment of truth right here. Slot this into the little slots. And let's see if... Yep, they are too tall. Fucker. Damn it. Well then what the hell length? What? What the hell length is needed? 14... What? Hold on. How is that not right? Oh yeah, I can see it. What? Are they 14s? Let's see what the length of the rear standoffs is. 14! No shit! 14! Damn. Well, that's a problem because I don't know what the hell I did with the standoffs that it came with. Yes, I do. They're in here. Oh, I am genius! Fuck, thank God I kept these. Jesus, I didn't even notice. Didn't even notice. Oh, wait, is that not them? Should be them. I know that they were this silver color. Shit, this ain't them. Fuck, what did I do with them? Oh, there they are. Right? Is that them? Nope, that ain't them either. Shit. What did I do with the silver, apparently 14 millimeter standoffs? Fuck. There's a chance that I put them into a goddamn giveaway. Oh man, please no. Hopefully I put them back into the 250 bag. Let's see. Nope, I did not. Fuck! Oh man, I'm screwed. I don't have them. I'm pretty sure I put them into a giveaway that went out. Shit! Well, that's not going well. Farts. Maybe I put them into one of these bags. Hold on. Hold on. Maybe. Wow, I can't believe that those are 14s. How obnoxious is that? I don't see him in there. I don't see him in there. definitely not in there. Maybe they're in here. Oh man, this is a goddamn disaster. This is a disaster, I tell you. God. What the hell's the matter with me? I can't believe I did that. I can totally believe that I did that. Well, shit. Guess I'm not finishing this build tomorrow! Come on, really? Oh, no. No. Definitely not in here, right? No. Well, let's check. Hold on. Let me just check to be sure I didn't put them in this bag. I'm coming back. Give me a second. Promise. I promise. Nope, not in here. God damn. That sucks. One more spot I can check off the top of my head. Then I'm just gonna have to sleep on it and try to remember where the hell I put them. But I got one more spot I can look here. And they're not going to be in here, but it's worth looking real quick. Nope. All right. Well, that's a big old kick in the willy. Shit. All right. That's a big old shit sandwich that I need to take a bite of. Jay Drone says, you can almost store a lot of shit that you have. Yeah. Doom39 says, I'd rather watch Ciotti build a quad than watch football. Much more fun. Yeah, sports ball sucks. Yellow Captain says, just file some 15 millimeters down a little bit. Yeah, I guess I could do that, but I don't want them to be like, I wouldn't be able to file them exactly right, and then the top plate is going to be like kind of stressed out. 10 millimeter standoffs plus some nuts would work. Yeah, probably. Robert says, capacitor installed? Yep. Capacitor is installed. Damn, dude. What the fuck did I do with those silver, what I thought were 15 millimeter standoffs? Shit. That was silly. To not measure them. Are they maybe... Oh! Yo. Never let it be said that there's anybody on Earth smarter than your boy CiottiFPV. Ooh! There they fucking are! My God. There should be a medal of honor given to people that are as clever. Oh, look at me. I fucking saved them and I put them in a little safe spot. Goddamn right. Suck my fat ass, Albert. Ooh. Man. I hope you guys appreciate that you're in the presence of utter greatness right now. Absolute big dick energy greatness. All up and down this motherfucker. Just big dick in it, backwards, forwards, to the left, to the right. It's like a porno in this place. My apologies to anyone still watching the stream. I don't know what got into me. You know what it is? Like, I'm so used to, like, oh, I can't find this, it's gone forever. That, like, when it's not gone forever, you just gotta celebrate with all you got. You gotta give it the full fucking celebration. Oh, man, I can't believe I was smart enough to save these. I was sure that I remembered putting them into into some sort of a giveaway. I was sure of it. Oh, we're on the wrong camera. We're on the wrong camera. There we go. So, I mean, unfortunately, now this build is like 40% uglier because it's not all pretty purple hardware, but, you know, that's fine. Not all builds have to be beautiful. Some builds can just be ugly motherfuckers that fly really good. That's allowed. That's allowed. And I mean, you know, this ain't ugly. It's just not as pretty. It's just not as beautiful as it could be. Fart on my fucking faces. Apparently I have multiple faces. That's odd. Alright. So now for the actual moment of truth. So, I mean, with 1 extra millimeter, there was tons of room. I certainly hope that with 1 less millimeter, there's still enough room for all the cables. But I have a feeling it's going to be noticeably tighter. Ah! I'm not going to say it, but you know I'm thinking it. You know I'm thinking it. You know it. Camera doesn't matter if you don't work under it. What's that mean? You don't work under it? Okay. Here we go. Let's take a look. Alright, we got the right standoffs on now. Let's put the top plate on. By the fact that it's willing to sit down and hit the standoffs, that's a really good sign. And, oh yeah, we've got way more space than I thought. Oh, beautiful! So I just need to work with that 1 wire. But even if that wire is up and over, it's fine. Yeah, we are good to go, man. This is a clean little build. Okay, so I am going to call it because it's been many, many hours. We're coming up on 3 hours. We're at 3 hours. Perfect. 2 hours and 58 minutes. Go check out that new edit if you want something cool to watch. It was from the Flow State get-together that I had here in Atlanta. If you like thrashy flying, you're going to dig it. And I'll be back tomorrow night at 10 o'clock Eastern, as always. I think tomorrow might be a giveaway stream, maybe? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. Yeah. Thanks for hanging, fellas. 2Fiddy is almost done. Look at that. This was a pretty trouble-free swap here, although there was a lot of trouble during the build phase, so I guess I shouldn't, I should just keep my mouth shut. But hopefully this AIO holds up and I can fly the shit out of this build with a bunch of 2004 Aerolite goodness, which will be awesome. All right, I'm all caught up. Oh, I gotcha. Yeah, thanks for hanging, friends. Here comes some flying from that construction site. Just to wrap things up, and I'll get some epidemic sounds rolling. See you guys tomorrow night at 10 Eastern. Here's this. This hair will be, my hair will be normal by then, for the record. So get one last look if you care about that kind of thing. Love you, boys! I'll see you tomorrow night. Bub. Oh, wait. Why am I upside down? This is not a good video. And the aliens just came to town. Jesus. What the f- Oh, man, I don't fucking know. This goddamn computer. God, it's not even this computer. It's just OBS. You're not getting audio. But just sing along. Just sing a song, and it'll be the same thing. Later, guys. Here's some janky ass flying. Goodbye!
No explosions. All right.